here in DC. It is important to remember, as we are dealing with this, that you keep your dog safe and hydrated too. Dogs begin to show signs of overheating when the air temperature is between 81 and 85 degrees. So these 90-degree days that we are having, they could mean dangerous conditions for our furry friends. So joining us today to share tips on how to keep your dog safe this summer is the co-founder and CEO of Brutus Bone Broth, Sue Delegan, and her sweet dog Cedric is here as well. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here.
We appreciate it.
Especially July is Pet Hydration Awareness Month.
Yes.
So it's really important.
I think we're all kind of like, oh my God, you just walk outside and it hits you, but you kind of forget about your dogs are feeling the same thing.
I know. I always say, if you are hot, imagine how hot they are with a fur coat. It's just, it's really, I mean, people have to be aware of how their dogs are faring in the weather.
Yeah. Any tips for people on how we can keep our dogs safe from the heat this summer?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things you can do. You know, one thing I always say is, I walk my dog every day. I think it's really important to exercise your dog.
Right.
But make sure it's early in the morning or later in the evening, because, you know, when you're midday and they tell you not to exercise outside, your dog shouldn't be exercising outside either.
Yeah.
Make sure they are always, they have water available to them.
Okay.
I call Cedric, so I have 2 dogs. I call Cedric my camel because he doesn't like to drink water. So I add some broth to his water and then he drinks it. So some dogs don't really drink a lot of water. So it's important to make sure that they are staying hydrated. Okay. And then also know the breed of your dog. So I have a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog. He cannot tolerate anything over 70 degrees. And, you know, there's a lot of the French Bulldogs, Pugs, they can't tolerate over 70 degrees because they have a hard time panting and cooling themselves down.
Right.
So understanding the breed of your dog and how to keep them safe.
Here, I thought you were going to say the little booties that you put on their paws. I saw someone walking their dog with that because the pavement's so hot, right?
Yeah, so that's really important too. And, you know, with the pavement, if it's 90 degrees out, that pavement is 40 to 50 degrees hotter.
Wow.
So you have to be aware they can get 3rd-degree burns on their paws.
Wow. So, okay. Yeah. All right. Keep all this in mind. You mentioned the bone broth. I have to ask more about that. So you add it, just bone broth. You make your bone broth. How do you do the bone broth?
Yeah. So we have bone broth. You can add it to their food. So if you feed kibble, you can just pour it right over their food. You can just give it to them as a drink. We make pup tails. So this is a little barkarita that we made. But we also, you can freeze it. We have, you know, you have seen these little freezer molds, and they, you just pour it in and you can freeze it and they love it.
Can you use like bone broth you buy from the grocery store too, or it's different?
We say not to.
Okay.
So bone broth that is made for humans, that's it. It's made for humans. It's not made for dogs.
Right.
So we have pet safe ingredients. So a lot of human bone broth has high sodium.
Right.
They have garlic and onions, which can be really dangerous for dogs and toxic for dogs. So we are completely pet safe. We actually add glucosamine and chondroitin for extra hip and joint health, and turmeric for inflammation.
How did you come across this or decide I'm going to do this?
So it's my sister and I started the company.
Okay.
When we were growing up, before it was cool, my mother made bone broth for us. And so when I had Brutus, which Brutus was my dog, I made bone broth for him. So he lived a very long and healthy life, and people would ask what I was doing for him, and I would say bone broth. They'd ask where I was getting it, and I was making it. So I decided to bring it to market.
Yeah. And how convenient now, because Cedric is not drinking water.
Exactly.
Have the bone broth. You have dog-friendly recipes. Talk like what is this here? I thought this was a drink for me, but it is not.
So it's a barkarita. We actually rim the glass with some Brutus on the Go, which is our convenient little to-go pack. So when you're traveling, it's really important to remember to hydrate your dog when you're traveling. So bring a pop-up bowl, and you can mix our to-go packs with water and hydrate them on the go. But so we have barkarita. We just launched our Beyond the Bowl, which is our cookbook. It's available on Amazon and barnesandnoble.com.
Congratulations.
And so, yeah, we have a lot of great fun recipes for holidays, cocktails, or pup tails we call them. But yeah, lots of fun stuff that you can incorporate the broth into your everyday dog's
really cool.
food. Yeah.
Cedric has been so well behaved. Would he like anything?
He loves bone broth. So he is my sweet dog. So Cedric,
Well, you drink up, Cedric.
So I have it in a little shaker because that's how we make our cocktails.
This is adorable.
And he loves it.
Well done. Well done. Thank you for all the tips.
Yeah,
These are great because it's so hot out there right now. You can find more recipes in the Brutus Bone Broth recipe book. It's called Beyond the Bowl, which is available, as we mentioned, on Amazon. You can also go to brutusbroth.com for more recipes as well. We appreciate it. He's just eating away.